I want to welcome everybody. Thank you all for coming out. We're here tonight to try to address the main concern that many of you had at the first informational meeting, if you were there on January the 9th, at the Township Hall. And the main question that everybody wrote on the card, or not everybody, but many people, most people, was how can we stop the proposed private for-profit Crete Detention Center? And why? We may have tonight many varied reasons why we oppose the detention center in Crete, but I believe that most, if not all of us here today anyway, want to say, CCA, go away. You want to practice? CCA, go away. CCA, go away. We are having a rally on Saturday, if anybody feels like walking Saturday, March 3rd, for anybody in Crete who wants to come out and bring their sign and say that. It's Saturday, isn't it? Anyway, no matter. Mr. Copera, Bernie, my friend, will talk about all of the actions later. No matter our political affiliation or our race or our gender or our color or our culture or education or our creed, we're here tonight to stand with Lady Liberty as a bridge to the American dream, as a beacon of hope for a better life for ourselves, for our immigrant, and for our sisters and brothers who are immigrants. Because together we can find better alternatives that will not only create a better place for Crete, and for the residents of Crete, but a better place for everyone. Tonight we have many people who have taken much of their time and money to research and get information out to all of you. So I want to thank the people who are organizing this, like Bernie and Ralph. Could you stand up, please? Jill, Sister Lisa, Fred, Bobby, Watson, Anthony, Ralph, and Alice. Who did I forget? Michelle. So there is a donation box out there because we've spent a lot of our own money, and any little donation we would appreciate. And Alice now would like to say a few words.
Before we get to our speakers, okay, all right, got it. Before we get to our speakers, I'd like to ask all of you to give yourselves a big round of applause. Because of you coming out on a cold winter night on January 9th, we've been able to put a spotlight on the plan to build an immigrant detention center in Crete. Before that, who knew? And because you came out in such large numbers, we increased that spotlight from our local newspapers, the Southtown Star, the Northwest Indiana Times, to the Chicago Tribune, NPR, CBS, WGN, and others. Because of you, we got the village's attention and we stopped being ignored or given non-answers. We got an hour of conversation with village officials on January 23rd, thanks to you. Because of your support, we now have yard signs all over Crete, and tonight we will continue to shine a light on the Crete Detention Center and become better informed, to ask more questions, and to get more answers. Thanks to you, we've already accomplished a lot, and we're not done yet.
Our first speaker is Jill Hornick, and she's going to give you an overview of the federal process and how we got here and where we are now. Jill?
We invited ICE to come here tonight to speak with you because we believe that you should have the facts so that you can make an informed decision as to whether you want this development in your community or not. Unfortunately, ICE was not willing to come out here and speak to you tonight. So we're going to walk you through what we have learned so far. ICE, which is U.S. Customs and Immigration Enforcement, it's a federal agency. Federal agencies are run by political appointees, and they change every 4 to 8 years, depending on which party's in the White House. The jobs of the political appointees who run federal agencies is to implement the policies of that administration. So right now we're currently in the Obama administration. ICE handles interior immigration enforcement. They will detain illegal immigrants and then make a decision on whether to hold a person until they're deported or to release them with a notice to appear at a hearing at a future date. Detention facilities are classified into low, medium, and high security facilities. And with the current administration, we've had some policy changes that have kind of been a catalyst for the situation that we have going on in Crete. ICE used to originally run its own detention centers. Now the work is privatized, where ICE is paying outside groups and paying them more money than what it actually costs to run a detention center, because those outside groups will only take on the work if they can make a profit. Another policy change that has helped create this situation is ICE wants to move detention centers closer into urban areas to cut down on commuting time. And there's a statement of objectives that ICE put out seeking entities to bid for this project. And unfortunately, we couldn't afford to copy that as well tonight. So if anyone is interested in copies of that, we'll be happy to email it to you. If you gave us your email address, we can get it out to you. If you ask Crete for it, they'll tell you you have to do a Freedom of Information Act request and pay for it. So we'll give it to you for free. And then the deportation policy. Sometime in 2010, ICE put out this statement of objectives, a solicitation for a Chicago area detention center, with a response date of about September of 2010. So they wanted all the proposals in by then. Now, according to the Village of Crete, Correctional Corporation of America, which is a private for-profit prison company, came to them and asked them if they would be interested in running this kind of facility. So CCA and ICE created what they're calling a white paper, and they submitted that to ICE as their proposal. We also have a white paper, so if anyone is interested in a copy of that, we can get you that too. Now, it's kind of interesting because the village did their submission in November 2010, which would have been after the deadline date, so we're not quite sure if the deadline got extended specifically so CCA could get in their proposal, but it's odd that the deadline got extended and the Crete got in their proposal. Then in March of 2011, the